Hello?
Hey, hey.
What's good, dude? I was just watching your video. I'm 2 minutes and 49 seconds in, and you're fucking talking shit, dude. You're talking big shit. That's right. That's right, dude.
Did you like the part where I called out you directly? It's like, this fucking Hassan is a menace to society. We need to get his ass out.
I did not. I fucking missed that part. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
It's
Because,
coming, it's coming, don't
I
worry. It's hype.
played, as always, it was, I played pause and I walked away because that's how I usually watch, because it's React content.
That's the only way to do it, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
So,
so I just wanted to kind of come in here because I feel like people are getting the wrong idea of where I stand. So I just kind of wanted to clear that up real quick. So I want to make it clear. It's not like my heart's breaking for lost dollars to the Fox network or something like that. I was just saying that when you're pushing these boundaries, you have to expect this kind of shit to happen. Like, and I think you would agree with that. I think you brought that up to Ludwig as well. Like,
yeah.
when it gets pushed, it's obviously a problem. So that's really the main point I'm making, voice crack. By doing these kind of like obvious DMCA risks, it's a big detriment to the platform as a whole. It happened on YouTube back in 2007. Took 7 years, and now we have that broken copyright system. And I feel like with the meta being the react to this kind of shit, it's also dangerous on Twitch. Now, I also watched MasterChef about 2 years ago. I was a pioneer. I was a leader, not a follower.
Hell
I
yeah.
love that shit. I also agreed with your take that if something's old enough, it should be okay to watch it
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you're promoting the upcoming stuff. That's the same point I used to make when I was watching it. But what I'm really trying to focus on is this pushing of it. Like, we know this is DMCA risk, but we don't care.
Yeah. It like full movies, no shot. Like shit that historically has always gotten taken down is absolutely pushing the boundaries. I think you and I are completely in agreement there. Where like the only reason why I started watching MasterChef I had not before was because it seemingly had a lot of people like a lot of people were able to watch it without any sort of scrutiny or anything like that.
Right.
So that's why I personally thought it met the metric of like, yeah, it's probably not, something that people are pursuing. You know what I mean? Like copyright wise. That's why I did it. Um,
Yeah, and I
and
totally get that. I always believed if it's being posted on YouTube, readily available
yes,
for free as a free channel and it's older content,
yeah,
I never saw much of an issue with it. Obviously, they still have the right to enforce it, but historically they haven't until Twitch streamers started pushing it where it's becoming like, maybe this is a problem because another take I see a lot of people mention is that streaming a full movie or a full TV show is a lot like streaming a game where it's a promotion for the product. I totally disagree with that. I don't know where you stand. But with a game, that's a personal experience. Everyone's going to play a game differently. By playing a game that 40,000 people don't have, they might want to get it and play it for themselves. They're not going to have that with like a movie or a show because once you watch it, that's your whole experience. And you had a better experience watching the streamer react to it. You're not going to go purchase a season of MasterChef 2 or anything like that, or go watch the new Spider-Man movie if your streamer watched it.
that's why I stay to that's yes and no. I stay to that principle whenever I'm trying to figure out if something is like really fucked up to stream on stream. You know what I mean? Where it's like older reality television that is either a no longer in circulation, like Moment of
Mm-hmm.
Truth or fucking all these other things that we've watched in the past, like Black White, for example. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. It's a great show. All
Mm-mm.
that sort of stuff, I don't personally think is like hurting anyone because it's not even in circulation and is fair game. Even though it is technically enforceable, like that is still absolutely a violation of copyright, right? Just like MasterChef is.
Yeah.
And the same goes for older seasons of MasterChef. I do think that it the way I see it, single player narrative focused games are not even remotely different than, for example, watching a TV show. Well, not a TV show, but like an older season of a show where you can actually add commentary like MasterChef.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I personally do disagree with that because, like, Last of Us 2, that's like a full narrative game. I don't think there's a ton of people that are going to play Last
Yeah.
of Us 2 for the sake of the gameplay. But
Yeah.
when you play the game, it's different than watching a streamer play the game. Your experience, your playthrough is going to vary differently, like drastically different than whatever you watched your streamer play through, even though the hook is the story, which you can get from just watching a Let's Play. I just feel like when it comes to a game, it's always going to be more personalized, whereas a movie or a show, you are detached from it. You're just watching it. There's nothing more you can do to interact with it. So once you get that, you're done. With a game, you're in it, you play it, you control it. That's just kind of how I feel about that.
But it's like this the Telltale games. Like it's
Oh, we
literally
don't we
quite
don't call those games around these parts. That's
okay. Well, I
cheating.
mean, I play
That's
those a lot. Okay, I'm not a real gamer, so
oh yeah, no,
but
yeah.
but my point is that like most of these developers, like all of these developers actually in unison completely understand that there is a lot of benefit to having people play their games, right? That's why they pay us to play their
Oh,
games.
of course.
And I think personally, what my suspicion is like some of these other networks are probably going to be smart about it if they have like younger people in their marketing teams or younger executives and whatnot, and recognize that this is a way to breathe life into old IP that is like at the verge of expiration or at the verge of cancellation. You know what I mean? And say, yeah, no, you can watch our old shit. It'll start off with like independent content creators, you know, people that make YouTube videos and whatnot, and say, yeah, of course, watch all of that. We don't give a fuck, right?
Yep.
And then I think it will even move into network television in certain circumstances. And the problem usually is obviously like international IP. Like that's the biggest burden for platforms, because people always say like, why can't Twitch just buy licensing fees and shit? It's not that easy. It's not easy at all. As a matter
Well, I
of
mean,
fact,
it's
it's
also
very
never going to
hard.
happen. It's too expensive as well.
Yeah, because like that's why watch parties are region locked, for example. Like, because if you're in a country where that Twitch Prime has not purchased the licensing fee for whatever we're watching, then you're not going to be able to do that. That's part of the major problem in this situation from the point of view of the brand, or from the point of view of the network or platform rather.
For sure. Yeah, so I just want to like I have to go here pretty quickly, which is I'm a little out of breath. So I've got to head out in a minute, but I just wanted to quickly give like a full summation of my point before it gets misconstrued again by Twitter or LSF or
Oh,
YouTube
I mean, I'm
comments,
sure they're
whatever.
on your side regardless, dude. What do you mean? It's like most people are shitting
I
on me. They fucking hate whatever my take is usually. So
Nah, I don't know about that, man. I think, in a nutshell, I think when a property does get old enough, I think MasterChef maybe falls into that gray area where the earlier seasons, which are readily available on
yeah,
YouTube, I've never found a problem like with streamers, transforming that content. Of course, just making like a 24-hour stream of it, dog shit. That's not good. That's a problem. But using that like as a transformative piece of fun, joking content, I've always been okay with that. I personally think it's very restrictive what they allow. For example, another show I used to watch on stream, I actually finished. There was another Fox one. It was I Want to Marry Harry. Would highly recommend. It's about a bunch of ladies who are convinced that an actor was Prince Harry.
oh, I started watching that.
That show slaps. That show fucking
Oh, it's
slaps. It's a
so
show that
good. Yeah, I
it
started watching that and I stopped it. I gotta get back to that.
it literally only exists on YouTube from like these shady uploaders. Of course, big DMCA risk, but it's one of those shows where like they don't have it anymore. So why would they try and enforce any kind of copyright on it when
Yeah.
they're not using it? That I agree with that, but I do think that the pushing, watching full anime, watching Lord of the Rings uninterrupted,
Yes.
watching big movies, all of this is a really bad deal.
No, you and I
And
are in agreement there for sure. 100%. Like, I've been doing this for years. So have you, right? We've both been like watching stuff like this on stream for many, many years. And it's a lot of fun for the people that are involved. I personally think that like it has a positive, a potential positive benefit. It can, like in the same way
Mhm.
that video games do. Like, I'm not doing it because it's good for the fucking, MasterChef IP overall for its like newer seasons or anything like that. But I have always tried to stay under the barrier where I'm not putting up a fucking movie and watching it raw. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
crazy. It's like
Yeah,
not
no,
gonna
that's
happen.
actual lunacy. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of delusion right now where I've seen a lot of people defending it as fair use or it promotes the movie. That's where I totally disagree. Watching a movie on Twitch doesn't promote it.
No.
No one's gonna watch a streamer watch a movie and then go buy that movie or buy tickets to see that movie. That's never gonna happen. So I don't think it could ever really be compared to a game in that regard, where you watch a player or watch a streamer play a game. You're like, I want to play this fucking game now. It looks great. Doesn't happen with a movie. Bad example. Those don't compare.
Yeah, no. I had never heard of Lord of the Rings, but now I'm actually going to go and watch it. Like, no, it's not. But by the way, but the promotional aspect is there though, and that's precisely why, like, you know, they promote Arcane, and you know,
I think
Twitch paid me
I
to
would
watch
love
Borat
that.
on stream. You know what I mean? Like, that's
I think
like,
that's great. I'd love to see more of that because what they did with Arcane is exactly what I think could happen with MasterChef, right? They'd be like, "Hey, look at how good our first 3 seasons were 80 years ago. Why not, watch this with your stream? We have an upcoming season." I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Everyone's happy. You get some fun React content. I also want to defend React content. I think the shit slaps. There's nothing more fun than kicking back with friends and joking about some shit. Like
oh yeah,
that's fun.
100%.
The content is fun.
Yeah, people
So
get
I
mad at
think
that. They say it's low effort. It's low effort, but it's like fun. It's fun as fuck to just like. I would never. I'm sorry. I would never watch MasterChef on my own. I've tried to watch some of these shows that like I watch with chat. I would never in a million fucking years watch it on my own. I can't. Like, it's not the same. I'm there for the chat. Like, I love going back and forth with like 46,000 people, basically, when we're watching it together.
exactly. I mean, that's the fun of it. You are watching it with friends. You are joking about it. That's the fun. Everyone's had that experience, like in real life, where you kick back, you're watching fucking Pawn Stars or Swamp People with your boys, and you're making jokes. Maybe you got
Yeah.
some brewskis and you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes the content enjoyable. I just wanted to clear this up because I didn't want anyone to keep like bastardizing the point I was making. I'm not trying to suckle on the teats of DMCA in Hollywood. I'm just saying, like,
Did people think that you were saying that?
Yeah, I got a lot of that.
Oh
I
damn.
just I just wanted to make that clear. The problem is that when it gets pushed on Twitch to this point where it's like getting fucking crazy, watching full Death Note, watching full Naruto, what can happen is what happened on YouTube, where there's this automated system that really fucks everybody. I don't think that ever happened on Twitch with an automated system. What I think could happen is it goes back, and I said this in the video, I think it goes back to like 2015 Twitch where they really openly frown upon YouTube content, and the way that people used to do it back then is they'd have to put the game as the big screen and then the YouTube video is a small screen on the side to react to it. I feel like if Twitch feels like they can't trust the streamers to police themselves on watching content that makes sense, that isn't just a DMCA fucking landmine, they might just be like, look, we won't welcome YouTube streamed content on Twitch anymore. And that's what I would hate to see because that would hurt everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really, I do wish that people would dial it back a little bit and, like, you know, engage in reaction content like everybody else does. Everyone does this in a way where it like makes more sense, that it doesn't like whip the entirety of the internet and Twitter into a frenzy and turn around and like fucking, you know, because if you're pushing the boundaries, you're absolutely going to, you're asking for people to
Absolutely.
do something about it. And I think that that's unacceptable because it cucks everybody. It cucks me. It cucks the person themselves. Like, I don't think, and being old is not the only reason, chatter. Someone said Naruto is old. Avatar: The Last Airbender is old. No, there are certain IP holders that are incredibly protective over their IP. We know this already, okay? And Naruto itself is still in circulation on Netflix as paywalled content. Most anime is like paywalled content that Crunchyroll or all these other platforms are literally purchasing the licensing rights to, and they are litigious. What we are talking about is like older seasons of a TV show that is either no longer in circulation or is sitting on YouTube with like hundreds of thousands of fucking views, which implies that they could have directly went to the source and eliminated that, right? But they didn't. And the reason why they didn't implies that like they are not as litigious in pursuing copyright on YouTube. That's my metric usually for what I believe is like relatively acceptable, still in the gray area, but like relatively acceptable to watch on stream.
Yeah, and I think that take makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I gotta go pretty quickly, but I just wanted to come in here and talk at least a little
This
bit.
is great.
All right, man. Well, have a great rest of your stream and take it easy, everyone.
All right. Peace, dude.
Yep.